Welcome to another edition of the BullHorn. Let's get right down to it. Cisco. Ooh, Cisco, an ugly day. Howard, we have to disclose, though, I understand you're in a new ad campaign for them not being paid, so I guess Ellen Page,
never get paid.
Ellen Page is nothing to worry about, but John Chambers does. Ugly quarter. I mean, what are people on the StockTwits community saying about Cisco? It's obviously really rattling the markets today.
Nobody's ever wrong. I mean, that's just the way the communities work. I mean, at StockTwits, I just think it's an avoided stock. People have been really around F5, ISLN, Juniper. They're all nipping.
Yeah.
What happens is Cisco is just being nipped at by smaller niche players, and now it's playing out.
Ivan, as we know, he's taking a look. Ivan from StockTwits looking at some of the hot stocks 2010. ISLN is one of them. What's the story there? It's cloud computing, obviously.
The story is, again, conglomerate and economy versus niche and incumbent. Right now, obviously, the first bubble created Cisco. Cisco survived Nortel, survived Lucent. But now we have the new legacy. Cisco isn't going away, but because of where they sit and the size of that company, you have companies like F5, ISLN, and you have these smaller networking companies and storage companies,
right?
Just stealing market shares. You know, they're lean, they're mean, they're hungry, they're taking market share.
All right, let's move on to another area of the market, autos. It's amazingly got some momentum. Ford is doing extremely well. I understand that you've been looking at other parts of the auto chain, AutoZone, and in India, Tata Motors is doing extremely well. What's the bull case for the auto sector these days?
Could just be financial. You know, when you don't own true growth stocks, you can't look at Ford. I mean, first of all, great product. They're using mobile technology. They're using technology in their cars. So that's just sexy. But really, when you think about auto industry, it's not for the typical investor.
Right.
This is not a growth stock. This is a financially re-engineered company that's doing well. I don't really have much knowledge other than that.
Right. But you do have some emerging markets plays in autos like Tata, right? That's something that it does seem like an interesting.
Well, absolutely. I mean, when you have a taste of wealth, as we've seen in BRIC countries and emerging markets, when you have a taste of wealth, it's no different than the United States. The first thing they want is a car. The next thing they want is a fridge. The last thing they'll want is a couch.
Let's wrap up with the emerging markets, segueing from Tata. G20 is all the rage. Emerging markets banks might be an area that people could potentially look at. Obviously, you got to be very cautious with any financial stock these days, but some of the emerging markets banks didn't get into the same amount of trouble that the JP Morgans, B of A's, Citis, and others that had to go to the government for TARP did in the U.S.
Well, here's the difference. It's not that they didn't. It's just that everything blew up before they could.
Right,
American
good point.
Banks, just like the 80s with Japan buying Pebble Beach and the Kuwaitis buying all our hotels, it all ended up back in American hands. We are the best thieves. Americans understand finance better than anybody. What happened so GGAL, for example, it's not that they're better than us, it's that they missed our credit crisis.
Right.
The same mistakes will happen there. It's called a cycle.
Exactly.
It's unavoidable. That's what we teach here. But have fun while the trend is going on. And yes, some of the emerging banks have done fantastic.
Right. Yeah, very interesting. And I think you're right. Sometimes it is better to be lucky than good. So anyone looking at emerging markets, especially financials, definitely be cautious. Thanks a lot, Howard. We'll do this again next week.